Hello, my name is Gabsy and welcome to a breakdown of several removed or unobtainable items in Terraria. In Terraria, there are hundreds of items, so it stands to reason that a couple will be removed, or just not implemented properly. For whatever reasons, these items are just still left within the game's code. Starting off the video, we have a set of Luminite tools, these being the hammers, chainsaws, and axes, which resemble each of their respective celestial towers. Each of these items can be edited into a player character, however without a modded client, they will vanish upon loading up of the game. For the chainsaws, the best modifier is godly. For the axes, the best modifier for harvesting is light, and for combat, legendary. The axes and hammers were introduced into the game, but were never made obtainable. However, there is a hammocks counterpart, which is in the game. This is most likely to be the reason why they are not obtainable. The texture of the hammocks also seems to be a combination of the two textures of the axe and the hammer. The first Fractal was a removed endgame sword that was replaced with the zenith. The coolest part of this weapon is the effect that it has, which is that it creates copies of the player holding 1 out of 15 different variations of the weapon. These variants will follow the cursor, and when an enemy is near, it will target them and ignore the cursor position. These were probably removed due to how confusing it would be to see several different versions of you flying around the screen, and it will get replaced with the zenith, which is, in my opinion, a much cooler weapon. There are some banners that are still left within the game, but not dropped by any entity within the game. The cultist fighter and caster banners, which do not correspond to any entity that is within the game, suggest that the enemies were cut, but the banners were left in. There's also a set of white versions of the cultists, even with the cultist fighter and caster variants, which could mean that cultists could have come in a white variant. However, this is probably more than likely taken out due to some unwanted consequences of what the character would look like. The white archer is within the game's files, but will not spawn naturally. The apple slice is a slice of apple pie that you can hold. That's it, it'll just appear in your hand. The item was more likely replaced by the apple pie that will drop from hallowed enemies in 1.4.1. The boring bow. Due to its name, the boring bow does absolutely nothing. It fires no arrows and has no special abilities. It is unsure whether this was ever supposed to be doing anything, or it was just an item left for people to search for in the game files. Treasure bags. There's a set of 3 treasure bags that will drop from in-game mini-bosses. The Ogre, Dark Mage, and Lunatic Cultist. They are however not able to be opened, but will probably plan to drop the items that the mini-bosses now drop. There is a set of blue, yellow, and green presents that are unobtainable. The blue present has the same sprites as a current present item, and the sprites for the yellow and green present will appear when the regular present is placed. For inventory space reasons, it is possible these items were merged, so they don't take up as much space. However, on the 3DS version of Terraria, these items are still obtainable. The Phastic warp injector is a weapon that deals no damage and fires projectiles called Phastic warp discs. From a colour scheme and its internal ID of 2881, which places it between the influx waver and the charger blast cannon, we can assume that the intent was for this item was to drop from the Martian invasion. However, it is unconfirmed for now. It is also likely that this was to be a reference to Star Trek, as Phastic warp injector sounds similar to warp plasma injector, which is used for power generation for the ships within the series. That is all the most confusing and interesting unobtainable items in Terraria. There are a few blocks I didn't mention however, as they are summoned in by items in game, such as the living wood and bone blocks. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe and join the Discord server below.